Michelle Buteau is the stand-up comic at the center of the stand-up special. Welcome to Buteaupia. I'm Matt Noble, here to ask you, Michelle, where is Buteaupia?
Buteaupia is a state of mind, honey. It's wherever you want it to be. Right now, it's in my mind because I have a lot of things to do and I'm just like living in a laundry list. But, that's my happy place, lists and getting them done.
Oh, very good. Listening, getting them done. Well, you get a lot covered in the stand-up special. And I'm just wondering, what was the hardest sort of joke or bit for you to sort of get right and evolve in your process?
Ooh, that is a good question. I had been trying to become a parent for about 5 years. And so talking about the journey, it was really sad. And everyone, the audience always felt bad for me because there was no happy ending. And so I struggled with that for a while because I was actually struggling with it. And when I finally was able to become a tired parent, everything just sort of clicked and people were like, yay, she's got the baby. So I feel like that was the hardest overall. And it was so beautiful because I feel like I really earned those tired mom jokes. So yeah, it's like, how do you make surrogacy funny or relatable or even educational in a way that doesn't feel like, you're talking at people. So I want to say that was probably the most challenging, but because every other dick joke is just like, bam, bam, bam. The dick joke she got,
Yeah.
Yes, you get it. You understand.
Oh yeah, they're your whole career you've been able to do those. This is something that's changing.
I can't tell you how many birthday parties. It's like I'm the go-to dick joke writer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think like the interesting thing with the parenthood sort of side of things of the special is that sort of it's something that was obviously a very long process that you're really just waiting for, and then like sort of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is just being super tired, which is sort of a funny beat too.
It is. It really is. I remember being so tired going through the IVF journey. And I just look at my husband and I'd be like, I can't wait to be a tired mom. And he's like, well, you're doing the research now. Yeah, but tired with a purpose is great.
Yeah. And I guess like sort of what was it like as someone who'd gone through that difficult process of bringing that into your sort of stand-up routine and into your sort of performance?
I just really had to live in my own truth, which is, especially if you're doing comedy around not just the country, but around the world, because I was doing stand-up in Paris and London and Amsterdam. At that point, I am not the writer who's going to write jokes about the city or what people want to hear and like the well-crafted, a long line at Starbucks. Like I am the friend at brunch who's going to order another bottle of champagne and be like, we're going to do karaoke after this, cancel your plans, make sure someone can walk your dog. So I am the messy friend that's got her shit together that's going to overtip somebody. So that's sort of my approach to stand up too. It's just like, can y'all believe? So yeah, I mean, I think I just wish people would sort of lean into the part that they think is their weakness, because that will always be your strength.
Yeah, no, very much so. And I think like, what is for you the like sort of funniest joke in Welcome to Buteaupia?
Oh my God, that's like picking my favorite Whitney Houston song. You can't do it. But if I had to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, I have a lot of different nicknames for my whole body. And so I'm just really happy that everyone's on the body positivity train, because we all have a different emoji for our body. And I love that people are just really going with this drumstick emoji situation. And I also love that people understand that I say I'm a government Beyonce for, I'm a low budget Beyonce for government workers. I mean, like, look, it's still a compliment.
Yeah.
So I have to say that's my favorite. Anything that's like that involves a nickname is like really my favorite.
Yeah. Now, you've had we're an awards website, and you've had a bit of award success with this special at the Critics' Choice Awards. You tied with Jerry Seinfeld. What's it like to win an award, and what's it like to tie for winning an award?
I mean, it's wild. I'm not gonna lie, it feels really good because I know a lot of us comedians are missing stand-up. So the fact that I was able to even get this special in right before we shut down for the pandemic, and then also, have it be so well received, because the thing that go through as well is, oh boy, will I be canceled? Like, you never know what's going to happen when you put stuff out there. And so I'm so glad that I got it in, that people loved it. And then I went, what? That is just really the straw that broke the camel toe for me. I was like, I am undone. Because, I don't win stuff. And that's okay, because, in life, I feel like I've made my definition of being a winner, and I have my own love language. And, as long as my husband and I are getting along and we have a clean kitchen and my kids are healthy, then I feel like a winner. But, sitting down in this very chair on a Sunday afternoon after kids were running around and dogs were trying to eat the wire to my lighting set, to sit here in like a very itchy sequence dress to tie with Seinfeld was wild. It was just wild. It was everything. And I really didn't think I would win. I mean, when Homegirl said it was a tie, I was like, oh God, I got to lose twice now. And then she said Seinfeld. I was like, just keep smiling, Buteau. And then she said my name correctly. And I was like, did she say my name? And it was all the proms.
Yeah, there you go. And like, people would have been worried. Like, people would have been worried because you and Jerry appeal to such similar comedic sensibilities.
I know.
So, like,
every time I take my mask off, everyone's like, Seinfeld? I'm like, no.
Oh, very good. But no, that must be really good. I must say, Michelle, like, a very quiet house at the moment. It sounds like you're doing very well on the parenting front.
Thank you. They're in daycare. You know what I mean? So I'm making 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches all before 7 a.m. and getting them dressed, 18 to 24 diapers a day. I'm glad that I'm paying people to be nice to them. Yeah. I did just adopt 2 puppies. So I'm glad that they're napping right now and not chewing on my overpriced shoe.
Yeah. Oh, well, that 5 years was worth it for the 7 a.m. breakfast and lunch prep.
It was. Yeah. I've been like snacking on this chia pudding for like 3 hours. I put it down and lost it for a whole hour. That's the new diet, just losing your stuff.
Yeah. What sort of with obviously you've been doing dick jokes for a very long time, but you've brought in new, the sort of the family element, the parenting stuff is new stuff. What's it like to sort of mix sort of stuff you've been doing for a long time with new stuff into a comedy act?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question, because a lot of friends that saw the hour, they were like, it feels like it's 2 different lives, like you're 2 different people. And I just say to that, you can be 2 things at the same time. I'm always going to be the sex positive, body positive, love on each other bitch. But now I'm a mom, which is great. And I say, for anybody that is, in the arts, the more real life stuff you do, it will only add to your performance. So I am very happy to serve a foreskin joke and a diaper joke within the same hour.
Very good.
I could just see somebody transcribing this, like, what in the actual...
I'm going to go through it at the end and take some quotes out. So
I am not going to Reddit. I am not going to Reddit.
They've got circumcision and diapers aren't often like they are connected. There is a it does come full circle.
Look, speaking of the circle, available on Netflix.
There you go. Get another plug-in. Fantastic, Michelle. Very, very good. What just while we're on that, what has your experience been like with the circle, and what do you think special about that show?
Oh my goodness, it's been such a positive experience. I love how good the British are at social experiment and competition. And, if you just saw what the show was about in a paragraph, right? Like if you just read it, you'd be like, oh, I don't know about this. A social media contest for $100,000 and you're able to catfish people. It sounds crazy, but it's such a fun, unique watch. And I think it's really important too, because whether you like it or not, we all have to deal with social media. And, what does text say about us? Can you read tone? What do our pictures say? Why do people catfish? So I think it's really fun and important, and it's been a joy to be a part of the process. To be honest, I mean, there's a British version, a French version, a Brazilian version, and yeah, I just love that it's got all these platforms.
Yeah, and
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've seen some. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen some of it. Yeah, it's good. What's up? You talked about it being a social experiment. What is something you have learnt from the circle?
Ooh, good question. Come on, Matthew. Well,
I try my best, Michelle.
I like it. I appreciate it. What have I learned from the circle? Definitely, I've learned that I should be more private in terms of sharing things, not just location, but you know, where I'm at inside my house, LOL. And that people who catfish, well, you never know who you're really talking to on the other side of that picture. And people who catfish aren't always out to, drain someone's bank account. Sometimes people aren't happy with the way they look. They already assume that nobody wants to talk to them because they're older, they're bigger, they're this, they're that. And, for me, at the end of it, it's like, okay, we are just human beings going through life trying to be loved and to love ourselves, right? So kindness really is just like, you can say what you want in a comment, but the thing about the circle is just like, okay, now they actually meet each other at the end of it. And, it's like, wow, you are a real person behind this picture that I've just tried to get kicked off and I was mean to and try to plot and plan. And so I wish people would, I'm going off on a tangent here, and that's what happens when I talk to an adult. No, but I'm going to wrap it up, Matt. Don't you worry. And plus, you can edit. I'm sure you got GarageBand or whatever, right? And so I really wish that people would, be more mindful when they leave nasty comments, for other people, whether they're fans of it or not. So that's the biggest takeaway too, and the catfishing.
Yeah. I'm glad you that was your takeaway, not like, oh, this is how I catfish people. Like, this is all the tips I need to be able to con people.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. What did you learn? Did you learn anything from your own experience of a life from the stand-up special, from Welcome to Buteaupia, and from the process of going through that and sort of sharing your experiences on stage?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I've been doing stand-up forever, and it's sort of like dreaming of your first stand-up special, your first 1 hour stand-up special is sort of just like, and I'm terrible at examples, but it's sort of like a girl fantasizing about her wedding. You see the way it's done and you think this is the way it should look and sound. And I really thought I was going to, book a theater with 3 tiers and a maroon curtain in the back. And when I started looking at venues, I'm like, this doesn't feel like me. And I think it's also important to realize that you can work with diversity. When I first stand up, everybody, no offense, was a white male. You're doing a great job. And, everybody had this
a lot of white males have done a very good job for a very long time, Michelle.
Yes, yeah. And good for you. Thank you so much for paving the way. And so, so you have this idea of who you should work with, what it should sound like, what it should look like and stuff. And so working with Wanda Sykes and her production company, and having Paige Hurwitz, her producing partner, who also directed it, it was really so refreshing, because they're like, what do you want? And I think a lot of times we get caught up in what we're supposed to do instead of what we want to do. And I was like, I just want like a real ass New York City night out. I'm a really good host. I love to put on a show. I love to have parties. You know, I want to have drag queens come and seat people while roasting them. I want it to feel like a Buteau show. This is Buteaupia. And so, yeah, after looking at a bunch of venues that were like the venues that you usually see, I was like, no, Sony Hall is it. Like, I want it to feel like you've gotten a little bit too high and you're roller skating and your jean shorts to the bar to like get a margarita. And I hope I serve that.
Yeah, and I think
I don't even remember your question, but
that was
fun.
What did you learn from doing the stand-up special? And like,
to trust your voice,
yeah.
to trust your instinct and vision,
yeah.
and it doesn't have to look like everybody else.
Yes, and when I was sort of very tongue in cheek when I was saying that white men have done well for themselves.
You did.
We've done too well for ourselves. We've done. It's there too many opportunities to do well for ourselves. So
well, congratulations.
Well, you know, I don't think it's due, not due to merit. What do you think, Michelle? Let's land this plane. What makes a good dick joke?
Oh, good question. I think a good dick joke is it's got to be personal. You know, it's got to be personal to you. Don't do what you think people want to hear. Don't use a word just because you think it's like spectacular or like a trigger word or for shock value. Really mean it. You know, and really lean into whatever feeling that is, whether you like it or don't like it or you're surprised by it. Specificity is everything. That's what I say.
Love it. Michelle, all the best of luck with the upcoming Emmy Awards for the stand-up special and for the Circle. People watching this interview can go to goldderby.com where they can make their own awards predictions, join the discussion in the forums, and watch other contender chats. Michelle, thanks so much for chatting.
Mr. Noble, the pleasure's all mine.
All the best.